this! Look at this! Brian is in a Star Trek shirt! My mind is blown.
I bought it just for you. Just for you, for me to wear.
Oh, that's amazing. Now he has 2 pieces of Star Trek apparel that I know of. He has his Picard hoodie.
That's right.
And now he has this. I'm very excited.
I actually do have a third T-shirt.
Okay.
It is a Picard Riker 2020
nice
T-shirt that I think I've worn once.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Ta-da! See, I'm showing the love. I'm dressing for the job I want.
So you sure are. On an earlier show I did today, someone asked me, will humanity ever actually get to go to the stars? And I said only if we get out of this current period. But again, according to Star Trek, we got to go through some crap in the early 21st century. So
yeah. Well, we're approaching the Bell riots any day now.
Look, the West is on fire, and we're seeing it in the East. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Cloudy outside my window, but it's not clouds.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a clear blue sky today here, and
us too. And the temperature dropped by about 10 degrees.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. It was like, it's like, hey, Google, what's the temperature supposed to be? And it was like, oh, the high today is supposed to be 74 degrees. Neat. What's the current temperature? The current temperature is 63 degrees. I'm like, okay, neat. What's the weather right now? It's blue skies and sunny. And I'm like, you are a liar.
Crazy times, my friend, crazy times.
Oh, may we live in interesting ones. And for everybody watching this show after we're recording it, welcome. We are happy that you see us, and I'm going to pretend I see you.
Oh, I like that. Let's do that. Oh, there she is. Oh, there he is right there.
Hey, there's that guy. But oh goodness, since we weren't here last week, we have 2 episodes of Lower Decks we can talk about.
We should
Plus
talk about
the Discovery trailer. Holy smoke!
Oh, that Discovery trailer.
I have a couple of issues with it, but we can get to it.
Okay, let's start with then last week's episode of Lower Decks.
Last week's episode of Lower Decks, I wasn't a fan.
You know,
it's the only episode I've watched 3 times.
It was my least favorite of the episodes. There was too much yelling. Oh my God, I sound like an old person. There was a lot of yelling and screaming and shouting, and I didn't like the character. Was it Fletcher? Was that his name?
Yeah, Ensign Fletcher. He made it difficult for Mariner and Boimler.
Yeah, I didn't care for him, although I did love that he got a transfer to the Titan. That was cool.
That was funny. Another wonderful track reference. And then he got fired.
Yeah. Remember how in Next Generation they would occasionally do, so and so was coming on board the Enterprise, and they'd show an Excelsior class come alongside. I was kind of hoping they were going to do that with the Titan coming alongside.
And we can see what it finally looks like, because we've seen online, we've seen different people's concepts of what that version of a starship would be.
Right. I think there's a novel cover, but it's not canon. It's not canon until it's seen on screen.
It's beta canon.
Right.
But among other things, would it be the USS copy paste that we saw in Picard?
Oh dear God, I hope not.
When we finally get to, let's talk about that episode of Picard at some point, it will require an entire half hour, and it'll just be like, and just that one moment. It'll be like, okay, here's a 5-minute sequence in this episode I want to talk about.
Yeah, I agree.
Half an hour. We'll get there. We'll get there. I have issues.
All right. So back to Lower Decks. What did you think? I mean, you said you didn't care for it. It wasn't your favorite.
No. I liked the cold open of everybody saying what the engines sound like.
Right. That was very funny.
I thought that was great. The EXO coming over saying security, we got an issue going on over here. Thought that was funny.
I think they should have ended it right there. I don't think he pulled a phaser on them. That was a little further than I think that joke needed to go, but
Yeah, how they showed it in the trailer, I thought was like next time on Lower Decks.
Mhm.
I thought that what they showed is like, oh, it's shh. No. It's
Do you get a voice like that next time on low? Do you get
no.
the
I'm still doing the guy from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it's like, what?
That might
By
have
the
been like
way,
their local affiliate.
yeah. By the way, if you want a random good time down the memory hole, go watch old Next Generation trailers on YouTube. They make it sound far more of an exciting show than it ever was.
I mean,
You're like,
their job. That's the job of
Data discovers love, and you're like, what?
It was under a rock on Cestus 3. Anyway, all right, moving on to
No, I thought, yeah, I thought it was a weak episode. This guy causing everything bad to happen and then getting promoted for solving it. Whatever, to get out, to get them out.
the the thing that he plugged into his head and it became sentient, and I didn't like
be
that.
smart. But then on the other side of things, this week's episode I thought was delightful.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I laughed out loud a few times. I've only watched one so far, but
just Mariner's best friend from the academy. Is there a crush thing happening? It kind of insinuated at a couple of points, but then Mariner being the number one for 20 minutes was great. And then learning that she was incredibly capable, smart, and motivated back at Starfleet Academy with the best grades. And you're like, Mariner was at the top of the class? That's fantastic.
Well, I kind of figured. I mean, that's the way she's been portrayed so far. She's like super Starfleet. So aside from her attitude, but I kind of thought the same thing you had suggested about Neil. Was there like a little crush thing, like during that hug between her? But now looking back, and with Mariner downplaying her skill throughout the episode, that's what that was. That's what that weird look that she gave was. Oh crap! I don't want to be her first officer time. So that kind of makes it less, because I think she's hot for the first officer myself.
Okay.
Ransom is that his name?
Yeah, Ransom. I thought that was also a really funny way of inserting a sex joke into the show. Have you seen Ransom's photon torpedo?
Oh God.
I'm like, that's funny. That I don't care who you are. That's just funny. But this was just a fantastic episode, and then it turned into the entity on the other show, on the other ship. The entity on the other ship turned into, it went from being the bad guy that we're firing phasers at to, it's just an alien trying to live its life in the universe. And her captain's log was so much like a Picard's closing captain's log in an episode of Next Gen. It was hilarious.
Didn't it remind you of the Encounter at Farpoint?
Encounter at Farpoint, especially when it had the ring around it from the saucer section. And it's just like, I'm like, oh my God, it's the Encounter at Farpoint alien.
Yeah, I wonder if they encountered like an infant version of it or something, and it grew beyond its ship's capacity to handle.
That makes sense to me. Also, in terms of just sheer looking at it as from the point of view as a writer, which, since that's my full-time job now, it's okay. What do I'm dissecting things a little too much, but hey, I'm doing a show where we dissect Star Trek, so it's cool. What I was hoping for and just thinking would be a great button, because they name dropped Jellicoe in this episode.
They did
be a babysitter captain. Like, I'm sorry.
It was so fast the way they did it. It was like zip. It just zipped right past.
We don't need a babysitter captain like Jellicoe. And I'm like, what? And the really funny thing is, I just watched that episode, or that two-parter of Next Generation last week, so it was very fresh in my head. And I'm like, oh, they're going to make a Jellicoe reference. And there it was, but it was even better than one I would have written. Only other thing I would have made this episode perfect was in her visiting captain's log write-up at the end, when she's talking, it's going off to live in the galaxy, and the galaxy's full of wonders, just saying, and I sense that it's full of joy. and gratitude. It's just
Did she say that?
like, no, she did not say joy and gratitude.
Oh.
I don't think she did, because that would be hilarious. And I feel like, that's a joke I would have put in, and thus, because I would have put it in, they're too smart for me and would not have. But yeah, throw in that Counselor Troy joke. That'd be great. But I thought this was a terrific episode. I loved everything about the dog. Everything about that dog.
Was the ship that they found, was that another California class?
It looked that way.
What the frog is with nothing but California classes? Can we please get something else? I mean, yes, we did get the Vancouver. Was that last week? The Vancouver?
2 weeks ago.
Well,
I think 2 weeks ago was the Vancouver.
Okay, well, great ship, by the way. Loved the way it looked, loved its lines. But yeah, what is it with just California class? Blech, come on.
USS copy pastes. It's a less well-developed USS copy paste. But also on Next Generation, what was the most common vessel you would see?
Excelsior class.
And on original series, what would you always see? Constitution classes. You saw all of them. You saw all of the other constitutions. Well, we don't have to draw another new thing. We don't have to render another new thing. Here it is. But my wife watched this episode with me today. Oh, there's a phone call I'm literally having to reject at the moment. Be hilarious. I'm like, hey, I'm doing a Star Trek show. She says during the opening credits, it does look like a pizza cutter. And so she thinks it should either be called, instead of the USS Cerritos, the USS Dominoes, and it's a pizza cutter class. And I'm like, I accept both of these things.
The USS Pizza Hut and the USS Papagenos, USS Papa John's.
All places I can't go to anymore. I miss them. I miss them so much.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just Derry hates me, and thus I can't go there.
I understand.
Yeah.
Derry
Derry does hate me, and that's just all there is to it. But on the other side of Star Trek, I want to talk about that Discovery trailer too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Susan says the USS Thin Crest.
You gotta fold it.
So what'd you think of the Discovery trailer?
Well, first of all, I was hoping they were going to have a Discovery trailer on Star Trek Day, which, by the way, happy belated Star Trek Day.
And to you.
Thank you.
To all of us, really.
It was, I couldn't wait. I was super excited for all the panels and everything. But I came in, gosh, I think I remembered, oh my gosh, it's Star Trek Day. And I ran to the television or wherever I was streaming it from. And I came into the trailer just like halfway through. So I stopped right there. I didn't want to watch the second half of it. I waited for it, and then it was up online on YouTube like immediately.
Yeah.
So I was able to watch the trailer, and it was awesome. I loved it. I loved the Discovery hitting the dirt.
Yes.
That was really cool. I did not like Burnham's scream. I thought that was very reminiscent of Howard Dean, Democratic candidate
after Iowa in 2004.
It was an awful. I mean, it was too much. Didn't like it. But you had said that you had some issues with it. What were your issues?
The trailer felt like it was giving the whole season away, like Picard's did.
Okay.
The final Picard trailer felt like it gave everything away, and there was some misdirects. Okay, fine, but like specifically, there was one character saying, "I always felt that we were part of the Federation." And it's just like, no, you're giving too much of it away.
I saw a theory online, and I don't know if we're ready to talk about this yet or not, but I'm going to go for it.
Go for it. That's what we're here for.
Theory that the reason the Federation has collapsed on itself is because of the Omega particle.
Okay.
So somehow, some way, somewhere, an Omega particle did what it does and destroyed subspace. So warp travel and communication all throughout the Alpha Quadrant is not possible.
Oh. Okay. So which would mean a Borg element, you're going to bring them in, which, hey, have the Borg as a big...
The Borg didn't create the Omega particle.
No, but they were constantly in search of it because it's the perfect element.
Right.
It's direct
somehow, some way, an Omega particle was destroyed or did what it did and prevented now all subspace travel, warp travel, subspace communication. Okay. So, I mean, imagine if all of a sudden we couldn't drive anywhere and we couldn't call anyone or send a telegraph or email, what life would be like here on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
So now imagine doing that all across the Alpha Quadrant.
Okay.
So, which would make the Discovery with its spore drive extremely valuable.
It would be the only way of going. But then, following that, they're able to then extrapolate the Discovery's way of doing things and make it work across a new Starfleet and then everybody else from there. But there is some sort of Federation still around because you could see star systems on a flag.
Right.
I just don't like them giving... I just don't like, Ian, just one line of dialogue from some alien kid saying, I knew there was a Federation out there for us. Mm-hmm. It's just like, no, you're giving too much. It just felt like they're giving too much away.
Okay. All right. I can see your point.
Yeah. Like, I don't like trailers that tell you the story. I like trailers that make it a mood piece. You know what I mean? The Star Wars movies were the three new ones, as well as Solo to a lesser extent, but definitely also Rogue One. They were very good at giving you mood. Here's what this movie feels like. And if you're doing that with a TV show, of here's a trailer for the season, give me a mood. Don't give me a story. Give me a mood. Of it feels like this, but like someone's saying something about hope. It feels like there's hope again. Oh, cool, because that's what Star Trek is about. Give me that. Give me soaring orchestrations. Show me cool spaceships. New aliens that we've never seen before. Please God, and like things like that. But I don't like it when they give things away.
Okay,
I do not like it. And that being said, I loved it the first time I watched it, but I'm like, something's nagging me. And I went back and watched it 2 more times. And I was like, that's what's bothering me.
So in the way that they showed the Enterprise being destroyed in the trailer for Star Trek 3.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember being a child and literally jumping up going, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what they were showing us on television. And there was no way around it. It was clearly the Enterprise. But anyway.
It's like, how do you get from here to there? Susan, real quick, has a great point, by the way. She cannot hear Omega without thinking of Omega 13.
I can't hear it without thinking of the Omega Man.
Oh, Michael Crichton. Oh, way to go there. 13 seconds. It's just enough time to undo a mistake. Will it allow us to undo Star Trek Picard Season 1? Because I have issues.
I don't think it all needs to be redone.
No, it's just take that entire 10 episode. Okay, I guess I'm going there right now. Take that entire 10 episodes, condense it down to 1 2-hour premiere. Take the Riker and Troy part out because that episode was next to perfect. Let that sit over here. Have that be your second or third episode, but have a 2-hour premiere because that's what that season felt like. It felt like a premiere episode. Susan says Picard rant. Everyone drink. Susan, for everybody watching later, Susan's the only one watching live right now. So Susan, you drink.
For everyone else.
Oh goodness, but that is my main issue with Picard. It felt like a season premiere, not a season. It was, and that's my biggest issue with it.
Okay.
And how they worked with the Borg. Ugh.
Yeah, it had problems for sure.
It had problems. That being said, I'm totally.
But I enjoyed it every week.
That being said, I love Old Man Picard. I love Space Elf. I love I can't remember anybody's names at this point. I love the captain of this La Sirena. I thought he was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Agnes. I'm not in love with Agnes. I don't
know Agnes at all. I don't care for that actress.
Picard's former XO, Rafi.
Rafi,
I thought she was fun. I like seeing badass 7 of 9.
Mm-hmm.
I thought some parts of the show were fantastic. Rios, thank you, Susan. Thank you, Captain Rios. I thought some parts of that show were fantastic and spectacular. It's just, it wasn't all the way there for me. Mm-hmm. So if I was ranking the season as a whole on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 6 because I'm gonna rewatch it.
Mm-hmm. Well, 5 being average, so you're ranking it slightly above average, just slightly.
So I'd give it about a 6. I would give individual episodes much higher ranks. Like I'd give the Riker and Troy episode like an 8.5. I thought it was a fantastic, terrific episode. It was very high. I would give the opening hour a very high score. Mm-hmm. Most of the rest of it, no. I'm sorry.
How about Free Cloud?
Free Cloud. You treat it if in your head you can treat it fully as a standalone episode that has no effect on the rest of the season, which I think you should. I think it's fantastic and hilarious, and I'm going to give that a solid 7.5. And we can review these scores later. These scores that don't matter and no one's keeping track of. But inside of everything, I'm like, this is stupid.
Well,
I thought it was stupid in a fun Star Trek way.
It's a lot like season 1 of Discovery for me, where I didn't think it was great. It didn't knock it out of the park. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I enjoyed it every week. I couldn't wait for each week to air. But yeah, looking back on it, armchair quarterback type of thing, or Monday morning quarterback. It wasn't the greatest, sure, but it was still a lot of fun, and it's great to have Star Trek back on the air.
Oh, it is.
I'm looking forward to see what they do with season 2. Like season 2 of Discovery, I enjoyed so much more than season 1.
Yeah, as did I. And season 2 of Discovery is, again, of course, not perfect, but I felt it was a lot more fun and in the vein of what Star Trek is supposed to, at its core, feel like. Right. And it felt like, okay, we're hitting our stride. We know what we're doing. We're going guns blazing.
And man, I can't wait to see what they do with season 3.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's,
now where all bets are off in regards to, having to fit everything into canon and all the, it should shut the haters up.
give me some, it's not gonna. No. They're gonna be like, no, they wouldn't do that. And in the future Federation, they want, it's just like, A, this is a thing that does not exist. I'm sorry. It is all make believe. B, it's in the future of that future. So what do you know? It doesn't match what you came up with in your fan fiction that you wrote in your mom's basement when you were 12 years old. I'm so very sorry. And man, I sound so judgy.
Right.
but then
I hear you, Susan.
Yeah, she says, New Trek sucks. Yeah, exactly. That's what they are. It's just like, no, they are these people. No, you're not a fan. You're somebody who liked one iteration of a thing. And if that's the only version you want to focus on forever and always, go forth. God bless. Ben Stiller, huge fan of the Star Trek original series. He never got into later Trek. He's like, I appreciate it. I'm glad they make it. I'm glad they did Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager because I never got into them. But he has a huge collection of original series memorabilia. That's fine. You're a fan of that version of it. If you're a fan of the whole thing, though, come at it with your critiques. Like, I have so many critiques about Picard that I keep stumbling into. But
You mean that you let take over the entire episode?
Yeah, it's just like I like it though. I still like it. I'm like, yeah, this is for me. This is where I live, and not everything is always perfect in the way you want it, and the way I wrote it up when I was 12 years old in my mom's basement. By the way, I wasn't in the basement. I was in a back room in the house that we had the computer in because it was called the computer room.
Ooh.
Back when you needed a computer room.
Right, now I call it an office.
Yeah. Now it's my room. And it's cool.
All right. So what else have we got for today? Anything?
Not too much from me. I don't know about you, but we have some adorableness that it would behoove us to share. Brian sent this to me literally right before the show, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Ladies and gentlemen, you've probably already seen this, but in case you haven't, here is Locutus of Korg. And you're welcome. You're welcome, Internet. We are not going to be back, I believe, next week. We're going to be kind of following the pattern that we've been doing of 1 week off, 1 week on. But when we come back, it's going to be a little bit of a different show, and I'm very excited. We're going to have a new sequence on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be really, really cool. And this new sequence will be called Brian's Deep Space Wine.
Where Brian bitches about Star Trek.
Are you going to talk about the finale of Picard?
I will most definitely talk about the copy paste fleet.
Oh, the USS Copy Paste. Oh my gosh, the finest ship in the fleet. Oh goodness gracious!
Again and again.
I mean, at least he said, and there's 40 more just like it right behind me.
200 more.
Oh my god, it should have been 40. Number one, it should have been 40.
It should have been like 5 or 6, and the Romulan fleet should have been only like 5 or 6. It didn't need to be this gigantic, ridiculous armada.
No. Let the Romulans have a ridiculous armada, and the Federation comes in with a dozen of its finest. Like, you know what? We will fight you because also Klingons.
It might have been cool. It might have been cool if all the Romulan ships were here, and all of a sudden the Enterprise E pops in, and it's like this giant thing floating over there.
You just made it better. You just made it better. Here, I got you. Instead of Agnes doing the thing with the magic plot device that allowed 50 of the La Sirenas to show up, here's how you make the USS Copy Paste work. That's what makes the USS Copy Paste. Riker shows up just in his ship. Okay, cool. And he's just talking. He's like, I will happily blow your Romulan ass out of the sky. It's just like, okay, neat. Wow, we're going a little dark here, Riker. And then, oh yeah. And then, and they just all start like looking like they're warping in because Agnes hit a button based off of Riker's ship. And that's why it's the USS Copy Paste.
Because it was copy pasted.
Exactly. And then it all makes sense. It's just like, just reverse which ship does it.
Let's finish up the thought. What is next week after Brian's Deep Space Wine?
Oh, after Brian's Deep Space Wine, Brian's Deep Space Wine. Next week. We're going to be bringing in other people to talk about the show with us. And not just guests. We're going to start making this more of a panel as well. It's not going to just be only 2. I'm sorry. Here he is. I was acting like you're on the other side of me. Oh, there we go. Not just 2 pushing middle-aged white guys. We're going to have more pushing middle-aged other people.
Sounds good.
Yeah, not just white guys on the bridge, but we're going to have more voices on here. More friends talking Star Trek.
And to streamline it a little bit so we're not in so many different places, so we can track the comments a little easier, we're only going to be seen live on YouTube.
So if you're not following us on YouTube, go there. I'm going to bring up our YouTube channel. Brian, talk for about 30 seconds so I can find the YouTube channel link.
Oh my God, it's just me on the screen. What do I say? So, hi, how are you? Come here often? I see.
Oh my God.
Goodness gracious, putting me on the spot like that.
Yes. Oh, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding our channel.
You could just add the link later, for goodness sake.
I will just add the link later. Okay, that's what I'll do. But it's gonna be fantastic. And if there's specific people you want to see on the show, or if even you are a specific person, you want to get in on this crazy fun, let us know. Send us a message on Facebook. We'll air the show on Facebook later. We'll have links to it also on Facebook while it's happening to go over to YouTube. But we're also trying to build up the YouTube viewership and send everyone there. And that's going to be at a new bat time, 7 p.m.
Right. So, that way, folks that do want to join us have a chance to get home from work and kick off their shoes and get comfortable and get their camera squared away. And
or if you work from home, it gives you a chance to get out of the house and go watch the show in the parking lot of a Dunkin' Donuts using their Wi-Fi.
Right, that too. Susan just gave you the URL for our YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you, Susan. All right, go there. Everyone subscribe. When we get to 100 subscribers or so, maybe it's 50 at this point, we can actually change the URL to youtube.com/talkingtrek. So
all right.
That's what we'll be able to do. But in the meantime, I'm Dan.
I'm Brian.
Till next time, peace and long life.
Good night, everybody.
Live long and prosper.